Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Off Key, episode number 6. And we have half the Torgy band in the studio, and none other than the most famous hairdresser in Inverness, Mr. Dave Fisher. Davey, welcome to Off Key.
Thank you for having me in this Sunday morning Torgy orgy. Could we maybe even just call it a Torgy?
Well,
is that a good opener?
That was a great opener.
And that's where it ends with me, boys. I think I've outstayed my welcome.
If I'd have known that, I'd have rubbed that egg all over me.
You did, you know.
Oh, great to be here. Great to have you here, Davey. It is Sunday morning, and what a week we've had of Scottish football. The top two teams, who I would say are creating a huge gulf between themselves and the rest of the Scottish football, have gone and destroyed two of the biggest teams in Europe. What about that? Let's start the Celtic game. Obviously, Celtic fan, Davey, won't hold it against you too much. 2-1 away to Lazio, that is huge.
Forza ragazzi in verde, as they would say in Italy. Yeah, it was amazing actually. I just wanted a good performance, you know, to kind of keep Lennon's momentum going, you know, and maybe the confidence in the camp. Great character to come back from 1 goal down. Grew into it, rolled our luck a few times. Fraser Forster kept us in it. Yeah, fantastic. And then the other mob, that was polite as well, you know. That mob did. They did a really, you know. I consider Porto to be a Champions League side. You know, I think it was the last 2 years. I think they made the last 16 of the Europa League, which is full, you know, of great sides and all that, you know. And yeah, Morelos maturing, not only, you know, his temperament but as a footballer. Ryan Jack, you know, it's got to be exciting for Scotland. And yeah, I mean, I think the last time Scotland got such great results on any stage, you know, the international stage or the European stage, would have been back in 2007 when Rangers won away at Lyon and Celtic beat the European champions at the time, AC Milan.
Is that the Scott McDonald?
Yes, it's 12 years in the making then, yes.
Maybe it's a sign of something turning. We're heading out to Cyprus. Well, when I say we, I'm heading out to Cyprus Friday for the Scotland game. And obviously we're excited with the squad. Lawrence Shankland from Dundee United, very exciting. Ryan Jack on the top of his game. Are we going to beat Cyprus is a big question. I think we will. I hope we will. But is it the start of something turning for Scottish football with the top two doing so well in Europe and maybe getting us ranked a bit higher, a bit more money in the coffers for them? Can we come back?
Do you not think that we're missing a lot? Like we're missing top strikers and we're missing top centre backs as well.
Well, I've said I've been available. We're all missing them at all.
You need to take Kenny with you. He's been carrying you for years. Yeah, don't forget my fee, Kenny.
This Torgy's over.
Prematurely. What you were saying there, actually, I think in this day and age where we, you know, football is a very progressive sport. I like Lawrence Shankland, you know that. I think he gets on the end of a lot of crosses, you know, and he's just a target man, a classic target man, you know. And why not have him in the squad?
Definitely, we said it before. Like, who was in? Was it the Big Differs? It was in. I can't go an episode without mentioning him. When
he's
he was
dealing with his type 3 very well.
and
his anorexia.
when Lawrence was at Ayr United, the wingers said he's an absolute dream to play with because they didn't even have to look up; they just had to put the ball in the box, and he was on the end of it. Yeah. And that's a sign of a top class striker. That can't wait for him. He's going to make another move. You know, he's not going to stay at Dundee United. Of that, there's no doubt. I can't wait to see where he goes. I would hope down south. I don't want him to go to the Old Firm because he'll just become another.
Yeah. As a guy that goes to a lot of Scotland matches, home and away and all that, do you think a mentality is a problem with us? when England lose games, you know, they have a full inquest. Maybe you know too much. You know, it's like the Spanish Inquisition, all that. You know, but they do demand a bit better from their national team. You know, I just see Scotland sometimes as being dads. Okay, that used to have season tickets, okay, and they're not allowed them anymore, so they fit a season's worth of drinking into 3 trips, you know. Okay, and they're like, they don't know what the score was, you know. You know.
That's a very good analogy, that day.
Do you know anyone?
I remember being in Holland. I didn't even make the game. And I woke up thinking we'd lost 2-1 and we'd lost 3-0.
It was all round it.
No idea what was going on.
What do you mean that was with me? Was I there?
But I think there's a big problem as well. Like when you look back, sort of 10, 15 years ago, we had a team full of winners. And even like, you know, when we went down, you just thought, it's alright, Barry Ferguson's in the side, it's alright, Paul Lambert's in the side, even like 20 years ago, you know.
Yeah.
Now, even though we've got arguably maybe even more talented players, some of them, you know, like some of these players like Ryan Christie and John McGinn, really at the top of their game at the moment, but I'm not sure I see any proper winners, guys that can just grab a team by the scruff of the neck and pull them, haul them through. Scott Brown, if you will, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see one player in that team.
You're right though, certainly defence is a problem, like. At the back, that's where Scotland are going to struggle. To answer your question, probably Scotland fans are a lot more forgiving than the English fans. Probably because we're better crack. You know, we're not used to being up there.
Not difficult, I don't know. You know?
We've never been used to being up there. Certainly in our generation, we've never been used to you know, competing with the top sides in Europe, top sides in the world. English fans kind of almost expect that. They've maybe been on the brink of it, and they do demand it. But you're probably right, and certainly the drink culture that goes with following Scotland's never going to go away. It's part of the heritage. You look back at all the songs, all the videos when they went to Wembley. You know, on the pitch, broke the goalposts, capped the park.
Yeah. Drinking is something that we encourage from a very early age, you know. So, you know, at Christmas time, you give kids a bit of Slur, other fizzy drinks are available, you know, because it makes
what they are. Slur. I tasted it for the first time a few weeks ago, and it's rank.
Are you wild? You off your head? That's one of the best juices ever. Like
I had the rosé stuff.
Oh, sorry, I had vodka in it. So, Davey, you're obviously responsible for the haircuts of a third of the band. 2 of them are sitting here. What on earth is it like having these egos come into the hairdresser shop?
Hold on, before we carry
I know,
on, can you
egos.
sort this bastard out? What are you going to do with his barnet? Like?
Davey, are you cutting like that?
I would never describe myself as a miracle, and when you can't polish a turd, okay, right, you can't roll it in glitter, so gives a phone.
But it still sinks like.
Are you going to paint white in like this? Fair play,
No, it's fantastic. You get to speak to your mates for most of the day and all that.
And then that pair come in, is that right? He's on fire today. Like.
Everyone that pays me money for ruining their hair is a friend of mine.
Has anybody booked you for the first time and just been like, oh yeah, Monty Fisher here is really good in the walk-in and see, but no hair, and they're like, but I'm not sure this guy.
I mean,
he's got a nice beard.
I mean, a joiner doesn't walk about with a door stuck to him, you know.
Depends what level of joiner you are like.
He knows why to put one on the hinges, you know.
I wish I had a door stuck to me. We had to speak to certain people. Open the door to be like, oh, fuck off.
Speaking of friends, we've a mutual friend, Danny Murdoch, and you've been guilty of rooming with him for a wee while.
Room with him, eh?
Having a Torgy.
Other housemates are available, probably not as brilliant.
There must be some stories from that. Obviously,
Oh, we'd get shut down. Okay. I'd get kicked out, usually get shut down. Yeah, it would be an absolute mess and this Torgy wouldn't happen again. So, yeah. No, it's been brilliant. Just been temporary, needing somewhere to stay and all that. And, well, yeah, it's been eventful. Danny thank you.
obviously, is the manager of our football team.
Yeah.
This is not a shameless plug for Iron Security FC. or a
Other
shameless
football teams are available.
or a shameless plug for Iron Security, the top fire and security company in the north. Danny's a great. He's been to Scotland games with us before. Obviously, a great pal as well. And cast your mind back to his fancy dress party at his parents' house. Now, tell us, Davey, what you turned up as.
Oh, I turned up as the theme was Europe, and I just had a brainstorm idea which wouldn't have taken much, effort. And I turned up as the Eurovision Song Contest winner, Conchita Wurst. And yeah.
You just took one of your dresses at the wardrobe and took it out.
Yeah. Yeah. It was well, you know, it was amazing how good you can make a Primark number look.
Oh, fair play. And did you just go upside down head in?
No, but I ended up upside down.
You're not the only one. Just at this point, we'd like to introduce Michael. You are allowed to speak today. You can contribute today. Are you feeling all right today, Michael?
Just got a sore voice from the weekend. That's
Oh yeah, okay. Someone bash your fanny there.
Oh, so much You're on
Now,
fire. dude.
Danny tells me. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but he tells me you are an extremely good cook,
Wow. Yeah.
and he turns up late on purpose, hoping that you've done the dinner.
Well, yeah. He actually wanted me in there just to cook for him.
I can
Basically,
imagine
a
that.
live-in chef, you know. Yeah. Today he's getting hopefully Sicilian rice and pasta bake called timbalo.
Does he make you wear the dress?
I don't wear anything, mate.
It's the apron with the arse hanging out.
And what time would this be?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Liverpool versus Man City. All aboard. Yeah.
The Torgy's coming to Danny's house.
Won't be the first one.
Aye, good stuff. Now, one of the subjects we're going to talk about today, Kenneth Lyle, is the funniest thing you've heard this year.
Yeah.
Apart from the name Michael McMillan, what would that be?
There's actually a couple I've written down. The first is a joke I've actually told you.
Which one?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Dishes.
Dishes.
Dishes Sean Connery. Second.
That's a cracker, like.
We were playing a gig ages ago, and I think anybody who listens to our music, we've got a song called Lighthouse. It was released about mental health. Kenny wrote it about mental health. And,
You alright, Michael, no?
No, I was too busy writing other songs.
Oh, right, the better ones, is it?
Aye. So every single gig, Kenny comes out with a spiel before the gig and before the song. So it mentions, how much we have to, fight against the stigma. And he really went and laid it on thick this day. He must have been at it for a solid
That was
minute and a half.
Stornoway, yeah?
Was it in Stornoway?
Stornoway, like.
Really laid it on thick. And he just went, we really have to fight the stigma. All of you have to get on board. This is the lighthouse. Like that. And he went, Alright, Trisha.
Normally, the minute I say this is the lighthouse, there's a click, right, from the drums. There wasn't a click for about 30 seconds. Oh, that's a good lighthouse art. 5 guys pissing themselves laughing, and one guy going, what the heck's going on here? Like,
Vinny, you've got anything?
I don't know, Michael. For you, chirp back, was it?
Funniest thing I've heard all year. There's a few other jokes you've said that we can't say on camera. They're definitely the top 3. Like,
I think we're going to bring it up again, but Colin Duff, your distraction of the Big Differs was probably the funniest, I've got to say, this year.
I've not laughed that hard in a long, long time.
I thought we were going to have to abandon the podcast. I'm not joking. If you go on and look at it, we're laughing for at least 20 seconds. It doesn't sound a long time, but it's dead air for 20 seconds. It's a long time.
He said a joke in the middle of it. He said about Duffers. He says, "Oh, you beat anorexia, no bother. So you should beat diabetes." And I, obviously my warped mind, rather than just having a wee giggle at it, I look back in the camera and I'm like, violently laughing at it. And then the same when I said about type 3 diabetes.
you nearly fell off the chair, like
You actually leaned right into the camera.
I was like, new diabetes, absolutely brilliant. Health and safety at work is probably one of the most boring, horrible subjects, but it's becoming so prevalent. You can't fart without putting a boiler suit and a hard hat on.
It's when you take the boiler suit off, though. That's when all hell's going to break loose, isn't it?
What's it like in the hairdressing industry? I mean, I don't know anything about health and safety in that environment. You must get people all over you, especially having elements that can really hurt people in your hands.
Yeah, we did that in college, but
Like, you're not going to cut someone's hair with a high vis and a hard hat on, are you?
I would if they paid me enough.
what about just the high vis?
I would if they paid me enough.
And the Steelies.
Funniest thing I've seen all year. You turning up with your Hugo Boss, your Armani, and you forgot your brown roads. You came out in town with me with fucking steel toe caps on. Sorry, back on the health and safety.
I was a night out with him, I had to put the Steelies on. Put them up and down Socky Hill Street.
Remember back in the day when, speaking of health, I don't know if it is health and safety, you know, the scourge of every Saturday night, the bouncer, you know, they now have to have a licence, but I believe that they just had to have it on their CV that they had a pair of steel metal toe caps to become a bouncer back in the day, didn't they? Yeah.
They used to as well, if you were wearing boots going into a pub, they used to stand on the front of your boots as well to make sure they were steel toe caps. That used to infuriate me like mad. Your nice new Timberland boots, like these steel toe caps, huh?
The I was actually working earlier this year, and I was up in maybe second to last rung, I can't remember, and the health and safety guy comes along, and he goes, "Excuse me, sir, you must get down." I said, "Alright."
Sean Connery into the health and
I carry on with it. Can't go above cock height. And I went, so I could go up another rung then.
Right, you're on film, Malky. You're live in the podcast here.
And you come milk float.
How did he explain that then?
He just said that's what the regs are. You can't go above cock height, and I told him there and then. I says I can go up another rung then.
You should have asked him, was it the one coming out your forehead or out your
I don't understand steel toe cap trainers. I see a lot of people on site now with steel toe cap trainers, and I don't get that.
It's like clown shoes.
I don't get them at all. I don't get as well this need to go to work. You see all these guys going on site now with their wee flipping shaved fannies and everything, like, in their haircuts and that. You think, what? Why are you bothering? You're going to work, like.
What about the guys turning up? It's like fucking 7 a.m, pitch black, and they've got the safety glasses on, but they're the sunglasses. Trotting about, bumping into shit. Like, fuck you playing at?
All the Snickers workwear and everything, like like 500 quid's worth of work gear on to go and mastic a bathroom.
Oh, you got 30 days, you fell over.
But in all honesty, health and safety nowadays, it actually makes the job a heck of a lot harder, and people are that on edge now, especially on some sites. They're prone more to making a mistake and hurting either themselves or somebody else, because there's a fear culture of getting things wrong, isn't there?
The thing I've noticed is it's stuff that's easy to police. So your health and safety guys that go around site find things that are really simple to police, like not using a hand drill when you're walking upstairs.
Get your hard hat on.
Hard hats, this not allowed to be above cock height. A lot of places now are not allowed a Stanley knife, all this kind of stuff. Things that are really, really simple to police. And you notice trends over the last 20 years, incidents at work have declined. So there's a big sweeping trend and all these things. But if you look at the bottom part, actual deaths at work are still the same as they've been since the 1980s, because that's the things that cost money and proper cultural change. And it doesn't happen. As soon as a company has got to start investing proper bucks in health and safety, you're not going to bother.
I mean, there's it's going to sound funny when I say it, it's not, but there was a site I was on, and it was getting a refurb, and they had taken away, it was like a mezzanine floor, they'd taken away, but the door was still there. Get your hard hat on, get your gloves on, guy walks out. It felt like he broke both his legs.
But a lot of these health and safety guys as well that come and look at you on site, when you're doing like a lifting operation, they'll check the tags on the lifting slings and all that, but they have never rigged anything up to lift in their life. They've never actually done the job that they're policing, half of them. Huh? They go and get their knee bosh and that's it.
Right.
Take a nice little salary, a wee certificate to say I'm a health and safety advisor, and go about and pick people up on doing things wrong when they don't actually, 9 times out of 10, a lot of them don't physically know what they're meant to be doing on site.
It's when you go into the tea huts and you just come off site, and again they're picking you up from minor things, and you go into a tea hut and you're trying to find a space that's not got a lump of mud in the seat or whatever like that, and you're just like, hell,
Yeah.
We're not worried about wheels disease, clearly, like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it's as I say, that's the thing. They'll do things that are easy to police, a quick little result, but a proper thing. Like you go on an oil rig, health and safety mad, that thing shuts down for any reason. They'll put a man to his death to get it going back again.
Yeah,
that's right. Absolutely. One of the interesting things we've seen is a CCTV robot. So it's you may have seen it. It's 2 wheels and it's weighted to keep it balanced, and it can go around a site. And Cisco have actually employed it to go around, and it can identify. You can put analytics software into the camera, and it can identify if you're not wearing your hard hat, your high vis, or your glasses, right? And it can, if it spots that you're not wearing something, it can identify who you are, put out a voice message, and then email it to your supervisor. So you can
robot like.
Can you imagine it with a Glasgow accent?
Where's your hard hat, you fanny?
I like to think that it's like the Robot Wars ref. You remember the ref bot in Robot Wars, and he holds up a yellow card like,
Why not just put an axe on the back of it? You're not
Put an arm with a shoe in it, like the doorman of cheese. Stomping on people's feet. You got your boots on. Someone said, why don't you just boot it and that'll be it, knackered. Well, if it senses danger, it turns and sprints off at 20 mile an hour. Like, I'm out of here.
Oh, and fucking flatten someone on the way past. Like, it's 5 mile an hour on site. Like,
Just need to get Usain Bolt the right guest like me.
Absolutely brilliant bit of technology. It's going to be used for loads of different stuff, but it's really interesting to hear that its first use is to ruin people on a site for health and safety. It's something that's never going to go away, and as you say, it's going to get more and more, and unfortunately you just have to deal with it, and that's the way.
Imagine having one of them on a night out. That could resolve your fear a lot of the next day, like. Just replay the footage from last night, like.
Resolve?
Compound more like. Oh, I didn't see that!
The robot's I told you not to do that.
Kenny, album of the week. What are we looking at this week?
It's actually my girlfriend that got me into them. I think by the algorithm of Spotify, she bounced along it, and she eventually found the Parlour Mob. It's spelt Parlor, and the album's called "And You Were a Crow," and it's very similar to actually Temperance Movement, but I don't know, maybe a bit of sort of Led Zeppelin in there, a bit of Jack White sort of sounding stuff, you know. But if you're into rock music, you'll love it. So. It's absolutely excellent, like really good stuff.
Davey, what music are you into? Obviously, Torrens your number one band.
Oh, yeah, bed sheets the lot, mate.
Goes without saying. Who's making them for you? I didn't sell them.
Well, they were just signed personally by band members. Early stuff, you know, was obviously, you know, guitar, indie rock and that. You know, I still base a lot of it, you know what I mean, on bands, you know. I'm very lucky to have friends like Kenny and Jess who keep me in touch with kind of more modern stuff. 60s, you know, I think for me, the greatest living band ever must have been The Who. I've never seen them live, and I probably won't because I don't want to ruin anything that doesn't sound like Live at Leeds. The greatest live album ever recorded. End of. I love live music as well. Don't get to see nearly enough of it, you know. First, one of my early influences was punk music.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I loved it growing up, and just don't know. I look back at a lot of gigs and eras and times and things like that, and think we now live in a very empty culture that way, you know, where people had, you know, like bands that they would really typify their style and their attitude on and all that, you know, even if it was one I'm not really into. I think the last one was that I can remember is probably the emos, you know, you know, and all that. But at least it was something, and people connected with it, and it came out in their dress sense, and yeah.
I remember emo was going about school, like.
Careful.
People think that you know, music is dead because of what's gone on in the last 15 years, whatever like that. All that music's still there. You just maybe have to look a touch harder.
Yeah.
If you're not going to look beyond the top 40, then you're not going to find anything.
Yeah. I think we were listening to a playlist in work, and it was all the kind of indie rock bands from about the year of maybe 2005 to 7, and I felt those bands.
Brilliant era. Love that.
Yeah, but I felt those bands were bands for the year. You know, maybe 2 years later.
What about then?
Where are they now? Unfortunately,
you know, I absolutely love the Mentalities.
Yeah, I love that first album. You know, and there was they were basically bands for the year, and I think, you know, 14 years on, around that, you know, sort of period now, it's bands for the month, or, you know, music for the month, really, you know. You know that people won't be listening to it further than a month, and what they just kind of, they're a bit lazy in terms of they just want to listen to what's on Radio 1, and that will do them some noise, you know, rather than search for something that's probably going to change their lives.
See, like the band I used to play in as well, you mentioned The Who. We used to use a song by The Who in our walk-on music, Evidence Front. Absolutely class tune. I actually found it because of, it was one of my mates said to listen to it. It's from, I think it was in Grand Theft Auto, it was one of the tracks.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how you find songs, like, you know, but you've got to look a bit harder than just the top 40 to find some great tunes out there. So a lot of undiscovered music. At Barber Mob, for instance, I only found them a few months back.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know where it was that album I just recommended. It's from 2008. Never heard of them.
Yeah.
They're American, right? But I mean, I know it doesn't stop you.
Yeah, I went to the best gig of my life last year in the Brixton Academy. It's the Brixton Academy, and it was Tash Sultana.
Right, okay.
Yeah, Australian lassie. I think she plays over 20 instruments, and she's only about 20 years old herself or something like that. She's very young. She was.
She's
That's like you,
incredible.
Michael, about 40 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was quite stunning. She was playing the guitar with one hand, you know, just like
slapping the strings. Sort of
yeah,
thing.
and it was unbelievable. Her voice and everything. She's a one-woman show as well. Other than she does credit the sound people as well for how it all sounds and all that. But it was quite unique and special, and
Right in saying she's quite spontaneous.
oh yeah. It was just brilliant. I was like, wow, blown away. Even now I can't articulate how amazing it really was.
I'm gonna have to get you to put me onto her as well. I'm gonna have to catch her live at some point as well. Whenever that may be.
Sound people so important, eh?
Yeah, it's critical.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, that's our journey over the past 4 years has been
So do you get people into
80% down to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm just the guy that turns up, gets drunk, and that's it. And sort of dances about. You don't appreciate what all goes in. You know what I mean? So much, do you? When you're there, just getting pissed and hoping.
It's a
be
production.
entertained, really,
It's a production. It's a show. We're always thinking about what we're doing movement-wise on stage to certain tracks. The lighting guys, he's just focusing on. If he knows how the track goes, he knows when there's a fill coming in or a stop or a start. So he's working on the.
How would you describe your style of music? I like to describe it as jock rock.
Yeah.
Jock and roll.
That's quite good, actually. We've always said it's folk rock.
Yeah.
Early days was just folk. We were very much
The
Corries.
Corries with a drum kit.
aye, and then we've kind of defined our own sort of style and vision, and it's folk rock, with a tendency to get a wee bit heavier as well, which may go forward. But sound wise, we took on Mark Clement, who's probably one of the best musicians up here as well.
Okay.
And he's not even playing an instrument. He's just focusing on sound.
Yeah.
And he does all our production for
Yeah.
the album as well.
Yeah.
I think that's the key thing to remember is there's 6 people on stage playing an instrument that if you turn the power off you can't hear. The only thing you could hear is my accordion and your thingy and your drum kit, your guitar. But what people are actually hearing in their ears at a gig is all through Mark.
Yeah.
Every single bit of that is through Mark. And I just think it's the most vital part of any production as a sound guy.
It's amazing with Mark though, because he always has us sounding very good, but also he has us very poignant and really, really loud. And still, you can hear him moaning over the top of it.
Oh, brilliant!
It's also a real curse as well when you've got him, because he's obviously at the other end of the hall from you and you're playing away on your keyboard there. And when you've made a mistake, you've hit a note, you just hit that note and you look up and you can just see him at the back of them.
Snide
It was actually an F sharp, Michael, not a H.
Do you guys find it difficult? Because obviously you've got the live show nailed, all that, and obviously very enjoyable. Looks like you're enjoying yourselves. How do you find in the studio?
Red light syndrome. As soon as the red light comes
Especially
on,
for
I'm
you. You are more so. I enjoy it a lot, but we've had some heated battles in the studio. Probably just through poor communication beforehand, but it's high pressure.
Yeah.
You're if you get it wrong, you're starting again, and
Yeah.
everyone's in the corner waiting for you. Going,
Yeah.
come on, you prick, get it done."
On stage, you can play the accordion, play the piano, no bother at all. Put me in the studio and turn a microphone on, and I don't even know what way to hold the accordion.
Yeah.
I just lose all ability to play it completely. I'm like, oh,
Has anybody got any boxing gloves to aid?
But I think that's because like, I don't play in a studio. I play on a stage. I just don't feel comfortable in
play
a
at a
studio.
crowd, don't you?
Yeah, you play at a crowd. Like they're the sort of seventh instrument of the band, almost.
Definitely, and you feed off them.
Yeah.
In your studio,
Yeah.
you've known to feed off. Mm-hmm. And even more so, you make a mistake.
Yeah.
Mark's going to turn around like, oh.
Yeah.
And it's always right at the very end, I think, as well. You get the whole 3.5 minutes, and then you make a complete blunder, and you've got to redo the whole thing.
Well, do you not get the same sort of thing? Like if you're cutting for a shoot, you not get more nervous cutting for a shoot rather than just cutting for a shit?
Yeah, it's amazing what kind of happens with the camera and all that. I had to learn the camera and make a few mistakes along the way at the start, and then kind of get the confidence to build myself back up again. And that I realised that it's not, you're not doing the perfect haircut for like a client, an everyday person that's going to come back in 4 or 5 weeks or something like that. You are cutting for the camera. You've got to leave some things in there. You've got to take some bits out, all that, and it comes with experience and that. But yeah, it can be very stressful.
I know that Kenny finds photo shoots really, really stressful because they always say that the camera adds 4 stones. On top of your 18 already.
Oh, obviously lost weight this morning. I was up 19 last night. What happened to you last week? I was 9 stone.
I kind of changed
Fluctuate.
You do.
Well, we've got a couple of weekends off actually, which we're probably looking forward to a wee break. But and then it's into Christmas party season, and then we're up to Thursday, and then we start our Scottish tour on the 1st of February at the Ironworks. But today is obviously Armistice Day, and Michael, you've got a big role to play in Inverness as well with a pipe band. A different Armistice Day for you guys this year, obviously with recent events.
But no, Armistice is always a good one. I'm just glad it's not raining. We've had every weather you could imagine on Armistice Day. We've had glorious sunshine, snow, rain.
You'll be snapping the snotters off your face though.
It's cold. The coldest parade we ever done was a Boys Brigade one. Their annual church service, we piped them, and it was down Dalney.
Yeah.
You could actually see like the steam coming out of the chanter. It was freezing. I'd never been that cold in my life. I didn't know what I was just doing this. I couldn't feel anything.
Your tits should have been curling around.
I could have had your ego to wrap around me and keep you warm.
Oh well.
But yeah, we always we do our parade, and then over the course of the year with the pipe band, when you go to different games and all that kind of stuff, you always get like big bottles of whiskey, so they go in the cupboard. And they only come out at Armistice, and they don't go back in.
So tomorrow you'll be a broken man, is that what you're trying
I'm
to say?
working from home tomorrow.
Oh, working from home. That old chestnut.
It starts with W and ends with N.
Meaning tomorrow's going to be hard work.
Tomorrow is going to be a one-man Torgy.
I hope you guys are going to make a song called Torgy. Okay. that will at least pay back some of the liver and life expectancy I've lost at your gigs. And if you don't do that, I think you should start selling fresh livers in your merchandise stalls, because the drinking at Torridon gigs gets a bit out of hand, shall we say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the crowd?
I was hanging on for dear life. The last time that I saw you guys was in the Innis.
Oh,
And my lift kept getting delayed, and I was actually brought down to Alan Geegan's height, actually, because I was
Well, you just lying down, right?
I was toiling, and I actually noticed Alan Geegan getting taller than me. Oh my God, I'm in a bad place now.
Great stuff. Davey, thanks very much for joining us on Off Key. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on board with Kenny Lyle, Michael McMillan and myself.
Michael Missmillan.
It's been the 6th episode of Off Key. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again very soon. All the best. Cheers, Davey. Bye.
Thank you.